Frank, rest in peace, was wrong, and Michael Moore was right. Because when Suge got violated and went to jail, who say they ran death row? Reggie, right? Frank was sleeping. Let's get back to it.
Is pointed at Reggie. That's pressure Reggie can't handle. Let me tell you, if something goes wrong with Suge, who's going to run the company? Common sense, right? Sharitha is on the thing. Sharitha's on the paper. Yeah, Reggie would carry most of the burden. Man, I can't see it. I cannot see that. I can't see that. And you know who I got that from? A good source, a family member.
Now, I'm going to say Frank was sleeping. Frank was sleeping. Michael Moore is telling him, nigga, if something happened to Suge, Reggie going to run the company. Frank like, nah, I don't think.
Now, right there, what we know today is what happened, right? When Suge went in, allegedly, according to Das, Tammy Hawkins, the girl that Reggie Wright Jr. snitched on with Greg Caden and said that she helped Suge allegedly kill Biggie, right? By going to see Suge and taking the orders and going to hire Poochie and kill Biggie. Now, according to Das, a lot of stuff was in Tammy Hawkins' name when Suge went to jail. And then we know that Reggie was dealing with Tammy Hawkins, and Suge told me that Reggie was allegedly dating or banging Tammy Hawkins too. Because we remember Reggie and Tammy Hawkins had a court case together because they had an apartment together somewhere. Remember that? That's a show I did a while ago, right? Reggie and Tammy Hawkins, who used to be Suge's chick. I don't know if they got a kid or not. And she was called Teresa Swan in the documentary, right? Or the recreation of one of the stories. They was calling her that, right? So Frank saying, oh, Sharitha will take over the label. But we know it was Teresa Swan, and then we know Teresa Swan was dealing with Reggie, and we know they had was doing some type of something together because they was in court together, and then Reggie snitched on her. Remember, I think it brought her to Vegas or whatever, set her up, and then she had to allegedly, and then she played the part in trying to set Suge up for Biggie murder or whatever. Then we had Miss Chalet, right? So Reggie was working with Suge's Tammy Hawkins and Teresa Swan, right? Then Reggie was working with Miss Chalet, running Death Row, right? So Michael Moore is 100% correct. Suge is going to trust Reggie. Buildings, properties, cars, all in Reggie's name, right? So if allegedly Suge was going to set up Tupac and kill Reggie, I mean, if Suge was going to allegedly kill Tupac and set him up, would he tell Reggie? Would Reggie be in on it? According to Michael Moore, yes. Let's get back to it.
So he like, yo, I'm telling you, nigga.
I was at the hospital. Reggie, you know why?
Keep that thought. And remember, he cool with Sharitha, right? But keep that thought.
Man, I can't see it. I cannot see that. I can't see that. And you know who I got that from? A good source, a family member. A family member. Maria? Reggie's dad. Reggie's dad told me that. Wow. He said, Michael, if anything happens to Suge, this is what he told me. Anything happens to Suge, Reggie would run the majority of the company. And I said, even over Sharita? He goes, trust me. Reggie, you know why? One thing Suge does is trust Reggie. He does. I'm saying Reggie fucked that whole shooting deal up. All that shit was Reggie's fault. Reggie was the one who wasn't with Suge. Reggie was the one who, I was at the hospital when Suge called Reggie in there. You see what I'm saying? I was there. One thing Suge didn't do is he didn't blame any of it for Reggie. And trust me, this shit was all Reggie's fault. Yeah, it was. It was all Reggie's fault. It should have been blamed.
Y'all hear that? It was all Reggie's fault. This is Reggie's security. It was all Reggie's fault. Suge was ignorant. He trusted this grimy ass nigga. He ain't see him for the snake that he was. He probably see it now, but it's way too goddamn late. But as they said, it was all Reggie's fault. We all know this, right? If he's the head of security and somebody get killed and he's the head of security, we already know it's his fault. But watch how they break down how it's his fault.
It wasn't even something where you could debate it. Any common sense tells you that the fault wasn't yours. You've been off for 6 weeks. Every one of the decisions that got me out of there, you in there, and everything else, all that came from Reggie's mouth. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. All that came straight from Reggie. That's why that shit was so comical. Because I kept saying, boy, and then when I talked to when I went, we went jet skiing with Mr. Knight, he told me on the lake. He goes, yeah, if anything happens, anything comes up, Reggie would be the one running the whole day in and day out operation. So Suge would turn it to him. Because I'm going to tell you who he wouldn't turn it to. He has more faith in Reggie than he does Norris and, what's it called? Death Row people. He would turn it over to Reggie and say, everything that Suge would get, he would call Reggie, and then Reggie would put it into play. Right. But Mike, do you really think that it was a setup? I got to ask that question. Do you, in your heart, think it was a setup?
Now, this is Tupac security. Two main security talking to each other, right? Reggie is the head of security. Somebody gets killed and Suge don't sue this nigga? Reggie is the head of security, his whole security company. He had 24, 25 cops out there on detail that weekend that they was out there, right? That day. The main star gets killed. And Suge is not mad at Reggie for nothing. Suge don't fire Reggie's company for the lack of security. Suge is not mad at Reggie for telling these dudes they couldn't carry their guns. Suge continues to work with Reggie. Suge goes to jail and let Reggie runs his company with other people. Miss Chalet, Norris, or whoever it was. Reggie goes and visits Suge the first year he's in jail over 170 something times in 1 year. So it's clear that he was running the label or getting orders from Suge and being a pigeon. You know, we already know he's a stool pigeon, but he's also a message pigeon. You know what I'm saying? Put the message in his beak and he flies out to jail and go to the label and relay messages, right? But Suge put properties in his name, companies in his name. So now you got Tupac's security, Reggie's security. These guys work for Reggie Wright Jr. security, Right Way Security. and they sitting here questioning, was it a setup? That makes sense to y'all? That Reggie's own security is asking each other, yo, you think it was a setup? They know it was a setup.